What can I answer? Yeah, hey, you just asked me what you want to know.
There were 53 fouls called in the game.
Yeah.
More on you guys, and I don't want to put you in a position of thinking they favored one or the other, but was it hard to play because the whistle was blowing so much? And I don't know if there's anything you can add to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think two things are in play on that. You know, OU's really, really aggressive team. I mean, all you have to do is watch on film. They're undersized. We kind of are now, too, this year. We weren't last year. So they attack the ball. On a rebound, they attack the ball. On a drive, they attack the ball. You know, they're not a team that bellies up on you when you drive. They go try to take the ball. And they're really good at it. And at times, it's clean, and at times it's not, you know. And I think, you know, Maddie Williams is such a good downhill player. Anna was such a good like they put us in situations where we fouled them, you know, were they all fouls? I don't know, you know, but I certainly think it was the nature of how the game was played, you know, and you can't really argue based on, you know, I fouled 3 people out, you know, and if Erica Porter had played 2 more minutes, I guarantee she would have fouled out too, because she had 3 in 6 minutes. So, you know, I think that, you know, it's 2 teams battling really, really hard, and both teams made a lot of their free throws, and that's where a lot of the points were scored. And so there's no question I want Caitlin Bickle on the floor. Like, I don't want her sitting on the bench any more than Jenny wants Maddie Williams sitting on the bench. You know, Bella Fauntleroy was really good for us to start the game, and then illegal screens and things like that. I mean, Dariana Littlepage Buggs hadn't had an illegal screen all season long. You know, I've even begged her, like, please give me something that looks like an illegal screen just so that I know, you know, that you're trying to be physical, because it's not really her game yet. And she got one called. So, yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot of stoppage in play. But, you know, I think both teams kind of played to their strengths.
Sarah Andrews is such a good player. I watched her in high school. She's gotten so much better, I know. And she should, right? But now, you know, she's going to be in the league pretty soon. But she is, talk about how great she's become.
Yeah, today was a huge step for her. I was talking to Dan Hughes, you know, before shoot-around today, and said, you know, a year ago, Sarah didn't even have to be Robin, you know? And now there's times she got to be Batman. And there's a big difference between, you know, like a year ago, Jordan Lewis usually got the other team's best defensive guard. And sometimes Jamie Asbury, because of her career at Oklahoma State and her scoring average coming from there, people would guard her with their second best guard. So Sarah oftentimes got the 3rd perimeter defender, you know, and now she's getting everybody's best shot. And so, you know, I think the shot she made, the step backs to keep separation, off the bounce, you know, the attacking finishes, some of the finishes she had a couple roll out. But she acted like Batman today, you know, and so that was a big step for her. I think at times she's tried in big games. But, you know, it takes time to believe it, to see the ball go through. And to, you know, one of the things we talked to her about, she's got such a good handle and she's shifty and she can shoot it, but, like, don't settle, because you're really good playing downhill and you're going to put pressure on the D if you play downhill. And, you know, getting to the free throw line is a big part of that, you know. And so I thought that was one of the things she did today that I was super proud of, is even though she started making some of those threes, that she didn't just settle. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those are ones that, like, you know, believe me, last year I spent a lot of time saying, I got Nalissa Smith. You know, it was like when Gino had Diana Taurasi. Like, there were things, like, when you're coaching Nalissa Smith, that it's not good coaching. You know, it's just a really good player making plays. And so sometimes it's the only good coaching I do in that situation is giving Sarah the freedom and the confidence that I'm okay. You know, like, I'm okay with her taking those shots. I don't, you know, I'm a big believer. I know we don't play the same style as OU, but I think Jenny and I have some similar philosophies in terms of building kids up, you know, and making them confidently search their shot and create space. And both of our systems are about spacing. It's done very differently, but, you know, it's about, if she's afraid to take that shot, she doesn't take it, And so in some of those situations, that's the best thing I do is, give her the confidence and the green light to make plays, in those big moments. And especially when Caitlin Bickle isn't on the floor, because you can consistently look at our losses, and we lost because Caitlin Bickle wasn't on the floor in crunch time because she fouled out. We're just a better team. We survived without Caitlin. We function really, really well because she's our best talker on D. She gets people where they're supposed to be. She's our best box-out player. She facilitates from the high post. I know she's not an Alyssa Smith. No one is, but she makes us a better team, And so it's really hard for us to survive. And so I thought two of the biggest plays of the game were Erica Porter's layups, offensive rebound, double clutch, three-point play, just to keep them at bay, to never – look, we've had 10-point leads against that team last year, that evaporated and we lost in one-possession games. And so keeping them at bay so they're not that one three-point shot away, that one time you fall down and Taylor Robertson's standing there wide open, And so you got to keep them at bay because they get super, super confident and comfortable the closer they get because they never think they're out of the game because of the three ball.
And the first quarter, obviously, a lot went y'all's way there, especially turnovers and able to take advantage of it. What stood out to you about that? What was most important? And just the importance of taking advantage of those turnovers when you forced them.
Yeah, I think it was the turnovers and combined with, we're not as good a zone execution team as we need to be. And obviously they're a team that plays make miss, and when you get misses and you rebound, you play against their man-to-man. And we're really confident in our man-to-man actions and our step-ups and drags. And we got pretty much anything we wanted when we moved the ball against their man-to-man, which they were in that entire first quarter because they couldn't get stops. They were turning it over, they couldn't score the basketball, they couldn't get stops. And so we got to play against man the whole first quarter. And you saw the turning of the tide in the second quarter because, we turned it over. They were scoring. They were able to get their zone set, and we just, especially not having Caitlin in that second quarter, who's such a facilitator for us at the high post in the zone. We're just not a good zone execution team yet without her on the floor because of what she gives us. And we weren't able to. Our probably best zone team is to have her and Bella in the game at the same time because they can both stretch you. They're a little more physical. And so then all of a sudden we got 5 3-point shooters out there, and we can attack, we can stretch you out. And we fell in love with the three in the second quarter and didn't make any of them. We just did not make them. Jamie had open shots, didn't make them. But that was a lot of it. We didn't get those rhythm, easy shots either in transition or attacking downhill against their man.
You mentioned Caitlin there, the ability to facilitate on the high post. And even at the end of the game with the full court pressure, you see her bringing the ball up the court and everything. How important is her ability kind of almost to play in that facilitator guard role at
Well,
times?
if you notice, she took the ball out on side outs when it's important for us. She takes it out on the baseline when it's important to us. She's a part of every press break. She plays the center, she plays this, and she just doesn't make a ton of mistakes. I'm not saying she has the greatest assist turnover ratio in the country, but she has my trust. And so when we have a possession, that's why it's so hard in late game situations when she's fouled out. We don't have someone to take. Then I'm looking going, all right, who do I want to take out on the side that's going to know to call a timeout if they don't get somebody open, that's going to not force something that, that I can trust as a secondary or even a primary ball handler because, Maddie's going to swipe at the ball. So Caitlin being guarded by Maddie, that's not easy, So it's just the idea of protecting it, making the right play. So, and that pass she threw on the long pass was a dime. That was Heisman quarterback Caleb Williams, dime,
Might be dangerous bringing up that name.
Sorry. He was the Heisman winner, though. Hey, you should feel better. They lost in their bowl game, right?